Holy shit. Having a baby is hard. I think in the beginning I was like, oh, this isn't too bad. Like they just eat, sleep, poop. But as she's been getting more awake and more mobile and more engaging, it's been more challenging to get the workouts in, to not feel overwhelmed, to not feel like anxious in my head, to not have lists going on. So if you don't know me, my tendencies are to create a lot of lists, to have a lot of anxiety, and to be kind of a little OCD around the house. And I wouldn't say like clinical diagnosis of OCD, but more so of like things when I feel out of control, I try to control what I can. So that means a lot of cleaning, a lot of just rearranging and kind of making everything in order, organizing. And it's funny because my lover is pretty much the opposite. So even like, you can't really tell, but usually in my gym, everything is cleaned up and put away. I mean, there's this, I like the floors to be spotless, but this is like, some people look at this and they're like, I don't understand what you're talking about. But I look at this and I'm like, I am rushed. So usually there wouldn't be any bands out. There's a place for everything. My floor has leaves all over it. And it's just kind of letting it go because it's more important. It's more important for me to get the workout in. Sorry, I've got the monitor here because she's sleeping. And my question that I ask myself too when I have these lists of things that I want to do. So for example, I want to make some protein pancakes to have ahead of time as my snack. I want to clean my pump parts of my bottles. I want to update one of my clients' training programs. And so I have to ask myself, what's my priority right now? And oftentimes that's to go to the bathroom and to eat. So I want to tell the girls that are listening or watching, or maybe the husbands or significant others that have the wife that's similar to this, who feel like when they have the baby, they're going to have it down and organized and they'll make time for the gym and their nutrition will still be on point. I hope that happens to you. I wasn't expecting that. And now that I'm in the reality of this, it's not what I'm getting. So like I said, I'm doing 15-minute workouts, and oftentimes like I've already done 2 of the exercises and then I came back in and finished up the last 2. It's just doing what you can and trying to figure it out. Like for a little while, I wasn't even tracking calories because I literally didn't have like the time, which sounds crazy. But I'm thankful that I worked on my nutrition and knowing what like 120 grams of turkey looks like or what eggs look like, and kind of keeping with my same increase in calories. So it's really challenging. So I hope everybody's working on that and preparing themselves. And if you're not, I've got a program. And if you are, welcome to Postpartum. I'm here with you. It's just wild. It's wonderful. I mean, I love her so much, but it's hard, you know. So anyway, I'm going to go into day 2 and day, what would it be, 4 of my workout today. So we're going to do push-ups, a dumbbell row, and then I've got some Deadbugs in there. Again, most of the core stuff that I'm doing this phase I reviewed in my Cure Mommy Tummy video. But push-ups we did in the last phase through the TRX, but now we're going to do them as a regular push-up. But I'm going to give you some modification exercises for those, and then we'll go in the dumbbell row and the dead bug. So join me as I bring you into phase 2 of my postpartum workout. So for push-ups, we can do them on the ground, which I'll show you, but modified version if we're at home and the ground is too hard. So we're doing 3 sets, 8 to 10 again. So what I'm going to do is put my hands on a wall, or you can, these are just shelvings, but hands on the wall. I'm going to walk my feet back. Further are my feet back, the harder it will be because you're more at an incline. But my hands are going to be about shoulder width apart. I'm going to keep my elbows in rather than elbows out. This tends to be more triceps, but it's also a lot less pressure on the shoulders, and I'm not creating such an inward rotation of my shoulders. So I'm going to come on the wall. I'm going to make sure you can see me. Walk my feet out just barely for myself, and I'm going to come down and push up. I'm going to do 3 sets, 8 to 10. So this would be modification 1. So as we did in my kind of onboarding to workouts, that push-ups against the wall was one of the things. let's go into knee push-ups and then regular push-ups, and we'll go from there. So if you're ready to advance, we can do some knee push-ups here. You can have something underneath the knees for a little bit more cushion, like a pillow, or maybe just a blanket would probably be better, even a yoga mat. So again, I'm just at this angled position. I don't want my feet too close where I'm coming down like this, where my booty's up in the air. I do want to come out a little bit. My shoulders are going to come down and back. So again, just like that row and deadlift, slight tuck of the butt. And I'm going to bring in my belly so that way I have a nice tight core. And I'm going to unlock my elbows and push up. So inhaling, exhaling as I'm coming up. Now, another option is to go down on the floor and do a hand release push-up. So I can come, I'm in the push-up position essentially, and I'm just going to push up and bring myself back down, rest, push up, and bring myself back down. What I don't want to do is push up and kind of flop down. I'm controlling everything. I find the knees a little bit easier than that. You're also welcome to do a standard push-up if you feel that's in your practice. For me, it's definitely not. I've never been a good push-upper by any means. So, but if I were to do push-ups, again, tuck toes, bring my butt up, slight tuck of the butt. So I don't want my butt up like that and angled. So slight tuck, engage core, coming down, pushing up. So that is your push-up options. Let's go into your dumbbell row. So before we were doing our row with the TRX, now we're moving to dumbbells. There's also a single arm dumbbell row that I'll show you at some point. But for now, we're going to do a double arm dumbbell row. Excuse me. So thinking of deadlift position, coming back, hinging hips. So I can use the wall as a placement for my butt. But I'm going to keep my back kind of at that nice level. Remember, we took our PVC pipe in the beginning of this. And so I'm thinking of straight line, coming back. And I'm keeping an upright angle. You can come a little bit more parallel to the ground, but for me, I'm just going to stay up in that upright angle. Either way, it's what you're more comfortable with. So hinging back, going to pick up my dumbbells, shoulders down and back. I'm preparing my position before I get into it. My feet are about hip distance apart. So butt back, shoulders still there. And then I'm just going to bring my elbows back for the dumbbell row. I'm going to do it at the same time. If a workout indicates alternating, so it'd look like 1, 1. But for now, I just want 2 hands at the same time. Some things to note with a dumbbell row. I don't want my neck craning up and looking up. I also don't want to bring my elbows up. I always tell clients it's almost like keeping your elbow to your spine or your side and just bringing them straight back. So almost like I'm pulling from a row machine. Excuse me, apparently I just have a brain fart for this whole week. So again, what I'll see a lot of people do is they'll come up with their elbows. That looks like this. Or they'll flail out, so like this. So there is a difference between this and not intentionally doing it. So we want to make sure elbows come at that 90-degree straight back and down. If I am coming forward and kind of bringing my elbow up towards the ceiling, so thinking of my elbow drawing back towards the opening of the garage. If I'm coming up towards the ceiling, I either need to lighten the weight or change how I'm doing this, where I get like a bench or something like that, have my hand on it, and watch myself. And thinking of my elbow stays in to my body, and I'm just pulling it straight back towards my spine, rubbing against the side of my ribs. So 3 sets, 8 to 10 of that, and then we will go into the next exercise. Okay, back to dead bug. So the dead bug, again, there's a lot of modifications. Let's review some of those. And some of them we had done in the different kind of phases of the programming, especially with my postpartum initial workouts and then the body weight. So there's initially the heel slides, right? Again, I love hands on belly, and we want to feel it all throughout the belly, but especially in that lower belly too. So there's the heel slides. I can do 1 foot at a time or alternate, whatever's easier. I can also just pick 1 foot up and down, so nothing with the arms. I can have 1 foot up and the other one just moving or alternating. I can have 1 foot down, 1 leg up, and coming back and down. This is actually probably my preferred. Again, if you're feeling it a lot in the hip flexor, we need to adjust where we're sending the signal. and even maybe modify and regress before we progress. So when I'm doing the dead bug, eventually it's going to look like this guy. And you can alternate or do the same side. I like to do the same side and then switch. What I want to make sure for myself is that my pelvis is stable. I still have some discomfort in like the pubic bone area if I walk or if I do too much shearing action of it. So thinking of like lunges, walking, and dead bugs. So what I'm going to do is come up here, make sure pelvis feels okay. I'm going to bring my blueberry up from my hoo-ha and then engage my core. So thinking of bringing everything together with the obliques and the 8-pack and the TAs. I'm going to come here, inhaling as my leg drops, exhaling as it comes back. Now, again, I like to have my hand on my belly for tactile feedback and make sure that this is tightening. And by this, I mean my belly. And when I'm breathing, I'm thinking of my whole abs, side, and back expanding and contracting. So I would do 8 here and then switch, 8 there, rest for 45 seconds, repeat for 2 more sets. Okay, so that's exercises day 2 and 5 for you. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know. I'd love to get them answered to you. If you find this video helpful, be sure to share it with your friends. And we'll see you on the next one.